The best cameras for video podcasts are also the same ones that we trust for streaming in YouTube, because we need a camera that plugs directly into our computer, can sync up with any podcast microphone, and doesn't have an auto shut-off feature that will cut us off halfway through our episode. So today I'm going to share PSS Creative Media's top camera selection with you, and we'll break it up into 3 categories: consumer, prosumer, and professional. So no matter what your budget is, by the end you'll know exactly which camera is right for you. Welcome to PSS Creative Media. I'm Steven, author of the Video Podcasting Playbook for Professionals, and I help creators build professional studio setups and workflows at home or in their office. If you're looking for one-on-one support or a full studio build, you can find everything at pss.media. Okay, so before we jump right into the first category, here's how we'll break this video down to make it most helpful for you. I'm going to walk you through each camera with only the information you actually need to know to make a good purchase decision, no boring specs or fluff. And as I talk through the pros, the quirks, and quick start tips, I'll actually record that section through the camera I'm reviewing so you can see the real quality for yourself and compare the cameras side by side. And at the end, we'll do a fast side-by-side comparison of each camera so you can really see the difference in sharpness, colors, and the overall feel. And as a final cherry on top, because I don't want you to get your brand new camera, open the box, and realize that you don't have the right cables, adapters, or cards you need to actually record, we'll finish the video off by giving you the exact extras that you need to order. Timestamps are below, so you can jump around and come back anytime you'd like. So make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this with another creator or your future co-host. All right, let's unpack the first category: consumer. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple different types of cameras with the consumer category, but the first one on the list is web cameras. Now, web cameras will usually outperform the cameras that come built into your laptop, and creators love using web cameras for video podcasts. It's that perfect entry-level, budget-friendly, approachable way to get started making content. Plugs directly into your computer. You don't need any SD cards or anything like that. Our top pick for webcams right now is the Elgato Facecam 4K, which is the one that I'm recording on right now. I'm pairing that up with the Rode USB pod mic. We're not getting into microphones right now, although I do have a video right here where I unpack the podcasting microphones that I'll remind you about at the end of this video. We've experimented with all of the most popular webcams being used by creators right now, including Logitech and Osmo that you'll find on Amazon. There are a couple reasons why the Facecam 4K gets our vote. First is because of how it integrates with the Elgato Camera Hub app on your computer that allows you to really refine the settings and get the look that you want just right, and then it will lock that look into place. These are true manual settings so that your image isn't changing on you constantly, and you can keep a nice consistent image for your video podcasts and your live streams. The other reason is it also works really well with Elgato's other amazing product, the Elgato Prompter, which we've also done a video about right here. The Prompter is a true life-changing piece of equipment, especially if you're going to be doing virtual episodes where you want to be able to look at your virtual guest and make eye contact with them while still looking through the lens of a camera. The Prompter allows you to do that by working as a secondary screen for your computer. But this isn't a video about prompters.
This is about cameras.
Now, the last thing I'll say about web cameras is they all get a very comparable look. There's a lot of artifacts, a lot of noise, and overall not the highest quality video, even when they boast 4K, like in the case of the Facecam. In fact, in our experiments, we found that you will sometimes get much better results and higher quality video using your smartphone. And that's the next camera under this consumer category. Let's take a look. Now here we are using the iPhone 17. Now even earlier models, as early as the iPhone 11, all the way up until the iPhone 17, will capture really comparable quality to what you're seeing here. Now I'm plugging directly into the Riverside platform, and when you use your iPhone in this way as a continuity camera, it will only allow you to record at 1080p. So if you wanted to record in that full 4K quality, you would want to record directly to your iPhone and then transfer the footage from your iPhone to an editing application. But take a look at this footage that you're seeing right now. How does this compare to the previous footage that you saw from the Facecam 4K? These are the auto features. I didn't have to adjust anything. It just works automatically with my computer with zero effort. And I think it already has a more clear, less noisy, more cinematic look to it. And since all of us already have a smartphone in our pocket, this is a wonderful solution to get going with a video podcasting camera that you could start with today. And then you could just get a microphone like this one, like the Rode PodMic USB, and use a platform like Riverside. Now you could try Riverside for free by going to pss.media/Riverside. It's a really cool platform that allows you to record your podcast directly into your computer, hook up a camera, hook up a microphone, use those as input sources like you would in a Zoom meeting or something, but get exceptionally high quality on your computer. The good news is too, it stores to the cloud on Riverside's server. It doesn't store on your own computer, so you don't have to worry about file management. And when you're ready to start editing, Riverside has some amazing tools to help you get started, even if you don't have any experience editing at all. If you go to pss.media/Riverside and use our link, you can actually save 15% on Riverside after you decide to upgrade by trying the free plan. And that's it for the first category of podcasting cameras. We can move on to the next category, but before we do, a word from our sponsor. Me! Have you heard about Podcast YourWay? Have you heard about Podcast YourWay yet? It's crazy cool. It's our brand new adaptive podcast learning and growth platform. There's a free plan that you can access right now by going to podcastyourway.com, where we help you completely define your vision and strategy, explore high interest topics, choose a podcast name, and craft your first most important pieces of copy, your tagline, elevator pitch, and podcast description. And our platform also generates a podcast cover art for you. It does this in a fun, gamified way with short video lessons and smart AI tools. From there, we take it a step further and we help you with all of these decisions like building your studio. With our brand new Studio Builder app integrated into the platform to let you actually click and try out different configurations of these podcast cameras and podcast microphones and podcast lighting all in one gamified experience. Then when you choose the equipment that you want, our cart builder will send all of that over into Amazon for you, all in one bundled single click. Your cart's filled up. It's amazing and mind-blowing. From there, you progress through the platform with our episode builder app and all sorts of amazing other integrations that we're putting out on a regular basis. And if that wasn't enough, those on our Creator Plus plan join us every month for live workshops where we actually get to meet you face to face. We do pod audits and workshops. We're determined to help you grow, get your message out there, and make a dent with your podcast. So you got to check it out. Completely free to sign up. Just go to podcastyourway.com. All right, so now we graduate to the next level, the prosumer level. And our first camera pick in this category might surprise you because technically it's considered an action camera, but it's one of our all-time favorite podcasting cameras. And time again, it wins out as a top contender, the Osmo Pocket 3. There are so many reasons we love this camera for a podcasting camera, but as you can see in this illustration right now, there is no computer involved in this situation. This podcasting microphone is plugged directly into the Osmo Pocket 3. I also have a screen that I'm looking at right now with the Osmo Pocket 3 so that I can get my scene set up exactly how I want. And the selfie look that I'm looking at here is the same quality, the same camera that I would look at if I were to flip the camera around. And because this is an action camera, it comes on a gimbal, which means it has really stable movement, it has face tracking, it has all sorts of crazy features, including time-lapse and slow motion, and tons of really fun content creation features. And because you can plug a microphone directly into it, and this way you can podcast on the go. You can podcast in your car, you can podcast in a hotel room, you can podcast at conferences. And if you want to do interviews and podcast to people remotely, let's say you're traveling to conferences, then you can use the DJI Mic Mini microphones like the one I was wearing in the intro of this video, and two of those will actually sync up directly to this camera without a receiver. Really amazing stuff. We love this camera so much. Veronica even made an incredibly fun video right here all about it, where she experimented with all of the different podcasting microphones that you could plug into this thing. It's a really fun video and you should probably check it out. But this camera, as well as the other ones that we are going to visit, require an assortment of adapters and doodads and cables and SD cards and things that you'll need in order to really use it properly as a podcasting camera. And if you want one easy link where we can send you all of the things you're going to need for this camera and all of the cameras that we cover in this video, just type kit into the comments where you're watching this video, and I will send you a link with one bundled pack of everything you will need from Amazon so you can more easily build your cart. Again, just type kit in the comments and I'll send you a link. But finally, with this camera, what do you think about the quality? This is recording in 4K directly to a little micro SD card in the camera, and I'm recording my awesome podcast audio with the Rode PodMic USB. I see a huge difference, and especially when you look at this footage under a microscope in the edit, than what you get from a phone or a web camera. And right now you can get this camera for about $800 US in some of the kits that it comes with some of the little doodads and extras that you need. That's why we're now entering into the prosumer world. But next up, we got to see how we can graduate and get an even more professional image and unlock even more pro chops for our show. All right, and now we step to the very top of the prosumer level. Really, we're kind of eking into the professional level here. and that is with the Sony ZV-E10. This is our top pick all around for podcasting cameras, probably for everyone. If there was just one camera, you were to ask me, what's the top video podcasting camera right now, I'd say the Sony ZV-E10. It's perfect for beginners, for prosumers, for those who are serious about their show. They want a professional, photographic, cinematic look without breaking the bank. In this illustration here, I wanted to show you that I am not using a computer at all. Again, I'm opting for the DJI Mic Mini, and it's plugged into the camera using the receiver that comes with this wireless microphone. This footage is being recorded onto the SD card inside of the Sony ZV-E10 camera, and it's being recorded at 4K quality. As you can see, the picture quality has really taken a jump from the Osmo, the phone, and the webcam, and we're really starting to get that professional cinematic look. And that is largely in part to the fact that I'm using a lens with this camera, and that's why this is our top pick. The Sony ZV-E10 is really a very similar camera body to the Sony ZV-1, which is a famous vlogging and beginner creator camera that you will find recommended, and in fact we used to recommend here on YouTube. But that camera has a fixed lens to it, so the lens that's on the camera is the lens you get. This camera allows you to attach any number of lenses that you want to it. And there are some combo packs out of the box that come from Amazon with all of the little bells and whistles that you need with this camera, including a lens that you can pick up right now for about $800 US, which is insane for how cool this camera is. But our top lens choice to pair with this camera is the Sigma 16mm lens, which is the one I'm using right now. We love this lens, especially with this camera, because this camera does have what's called a crop sensor, which means it will crop in on your footage a little bit. What that means is that the 16mm lens that I'm on is actually more being recorded as a 24mm focal length on the camera. That's just fancy camera photography speak to say that you're not really getting the full 16mm wide angle view of this lens. It's zooming in on me a little bit more or cropping in on me. And this is more of like a 24mm perspective. But that's not really a deal breaker. You just have to step back from the camera a little bit and build your scene accordingly. The other standout feature about this camera is it has a flip screen, and I'm actually staring at myself right now so that I can see I'm in focus and that my shot is set up great. Now, if you wanted to use a classic podcasting microphone with this camera, that's where you would then plug this camera directly into your computer and then plug a podcasting microphone into your computer and allow an application on your computer like Riverside or OBS Studio to sync those two up together and record them as one file. That's also one of the reasons that this camera is a huge top contender for podcasting, is because when you adjust a few settings in the camera, this camera will never overheat and it will never shut off on you. You can keep it plugged into your computer for hours at a time and do live streams, interviews, video podcasts, and it will never shut off. You can record for as long as you want. If you want a link to this camera, our recommended lens, all the doodads and extras and adapters that you'll need to properly plug it into your computer, again, just type kit into the comments here on YouTube, and I will respond with a link that has all of this equipment listed and categorized and bundled for you to make your Amazon checkout even easier.
You're welcome.
But hey, we got to explore what happens when we spend a little bit more money and we leave the prosumer world and enter into the professional world. You ready? All right, now moving up into the professional category, and I'll share our overall top pick time and time again at PSS, and that is the Sony A7 IV. That's the camera that you are seeing me through right now. And we like to pair that camera with the Sony G Master 35mm lens. There are so many reasons why this camera continues to be our top pick for video podcasts, but I'll name some of the real features that really come into play when you're doing specifically long form content like podcasts. Of course, this camera does a great job with vertical videos and short videos as well, but first and foremost, it captures incredible quality. In fact, most of the time, we don't even use the highest quality that this camera can capture because the file sizes get very large. It kind of bogs down the editing process. Now, just like the Osmo and the ZV-E10 camera that we looked at, we will get higher quality if we record directly into the SD card that comes with this camera. And because it is a DSLR camera, it's very easy to use with the DJI Mic Mini or any other lavalier wireless microphone that has a receiver that will plug into the camera using a 3.5mm cable. And just like the ZV-E10, it becomes complicated to plug a podcasting microphone directly into this camera. There are some audio interface contraptions you can buy to try to achieve this. But really, if you want to use that classic podcast microphone and actually have it in your shot, it's better just to plug this camera directly into your computer. Make sure that you have the settings on the camera appropriately adjusted. And there's a video right here where I show you how you can get into the menus of your Sony camera and make those adjustments. So again, remember to subscribe so you can come back and find that video when your camera arrives in the mail. But this camera does a wonderful job plugging directly into your computer, and you would be amazed at the quality you can capture that way. One of the bragging features of this camera is it has a full-size HDMI output. So you can just get a regular HDMI cable, run it out of the camera, plug it into an HDMI adapter, which we're going to get to in a moment, and it goes directly into your computer. This makes it incredible for capturing 4K quality on your computer using solutions like Riverside FM or OBS Studio. But as you can see in this illustration here, you can also go with the wireless microphone option and get really good sound that way directly to your camera, recording into an SD card, which is what I'm doing here for this illustration. Another standout feature with this camera that I absolutely love is that it has a skin softening effect built into it. This is a feature that the Sony A7C or the A7 Mark III, the camera before this one, doesn't have. And this is a really cool feature if you are going to use this camera to stream, or if you don't really want to bother with skin softening effects in post-production. It also has some really cool features where you can adjust the colors, add some saturation and sharpness and contrast to your image, and that image will actually spit out your HDMI cable and you can stream that to your live audience. And this way you don't have to do any of that in the edit. You can stream, you can go live with your podcast. If you use a solution like Riverside FM, you can do all of that live and capture the 4K quality recordings at the same time, and then simply edit that in Riverside's amazing new editing features. I'll leave a link for Riverside below where you can try it out for free. It's pss.media/Riverside. And if you use that link, you'll actually save 15% with Riverside. So make sure to check that out in the description below. So you'll find just the body of this camera show up at different prices depending on the time that you check Amazon, but it roughly goes for around $2,000. And the lens that's attached to the camera, the 35mm G Master lens, is about $1,500 US at the time I'm recording this video. Of course, you find discounts and things depending on the time of year it is, but that means that this setup is about $3,500 just for this setup without the microphone or the adapters or the tripod or any of that stuff. That's why we're now entering into the professional world. Now, there's another top contender that I have to touch on to do my due diligence when it comes to Sony cameras and when it comes to video podcasting. And that is the Sony FX30. That camera, the body itself, goes for about $3,000. So it's $1,000 more expensive than this. And then it has a big brother, the Sony FX3, which is truly a beauty. That goes for about $4,000. Both of those cameras have a similar color profile to this one. And the reason that I don't choose the FX30, we have it here, we experiment with it all the time and we love it, is that it has a crop sensor. So you actually don't take full advantage of the 35mm lens here. But one of the reasons that you may choose that camera or may want to look into the FX30 over this A7 IV is because it works more like a video camera and that it doesn't have a 30-minute shutoff time. So when you're recording to an SD card on this camera, it will shut off after 30 minutes. But the FX30 just keeps recording until your SD card gets filled up. And you can actually put 2 SD cards in the camera, so you can go for a few hours before the thing will actually stop recording. So if you want a camera that stands alone and will actually record a podcast episode, an interview, maybe on the road, or without even getting a computer involved, then you might really want to look into the FX30 or the FX3 from Sony. Otherwise, I really don't find it that big of a deal to just press record every 30 minutes on this camera, or as I mentioned, plug it directly into your computer, and then there is no record limit time feature at all. And most of us are going to be plugging our cameras directly into a computer so that we can use our podcasting microphone and have that audio sync magic happen for us anyway. Okay, so as promised, here at the end of the video, I'm gonna let you in on all of the little adapters and cards and doodads that you'll need so that these cameras actually work like video podcasting cameras when you get them in the mail. As a reminder, just comment the word kit and we'll share a link with you that will have the whole bundle of equipment that you'll need, including the dummy batteries and adapters and cables and SD cards and all of that stuff so that you can shop confidently knowing that you're getting all of the little extras that these cameras actually need. Something that I would recommend for all of the camera types, it also happens to be something I recommend for microphones, is the Elgato LP Wave Arm. LP stands for low profile. This is a desk clamping stand. It's low profile, so the stand actually comes up like this. It's what I've used to hold all of these cameras in this demonstration for this video. It has a lift and fall mechanism, as well as a twirling and a spinning mechanism, which allows you really to get your cameras at any angle that you want. It's really cool to have that attached to a desk instead of lugging around a tripod. So if you know you're going to be sitting at a desk, this is a great purchase. It works with an iPhone clip, it works with the web cameras really wonderfully. It works with both DSLR cameras, and it works really well with the Osmo Pocket 3. Now the Osmo Pocket 3 usually will come with an SD card if you get it in some type of a bundle, which will be in the link that I leave for it in the description below, or when you type in kit into the comments. But that's a micro SD card.
Ones
that plugs into the Osmo Pocket 3. For the web camera and for your phone, that's going to link up directly to your computer, so you're not going to need any extras there. Now, when we get into the DSLR world or the Sony camera world, here you will need the proper HDMI cable. For the ZV-E10, you're going to need a mini HDMI to HDMI cable, or a mini HDMI to HDMI adapter, and then an HDMI cable to come out of the camera. You also need a camera capture card that will convert the HDMI signal into a USB signal that can be read by your computer. And for that, look no further than the Elgato 4K Cam Link adapter. Again, link in the description, or just type in kit. But what you'll do with this is plug the HDMI cable into it and then the other end into your computer. If you don't have the classic USB input for your computer, which many of us don't anymore, that will convert the USB 2 size to the USB-C, or the more common USB that we're seeing now. So it will look like this. The HDMI cable will come out of your camera, and then this will plug directly into your computer. Once you watch this video here and learn how to adjust a couple simple settings in your menu, then your Sony camera will never turn off and it will never overheat. You can keep it on for hours at a time and record, live stream, do anything you want through your computer, and have any kind of microphone plugged up to your computer as well too. You simply select your camera as the input source and the microphone as the input source. You're good to go. Finally, with these DSLR cameras, as I mentioned, you do get higher quality if you record directly into the SD card. It is a noticeable higher quality, especially in those fine details, as when you compare it to what you get in Riverside FM or even OBS Studio. But the trade-off for convenience, being able to record with no shut-off time and having all of the files managed in the cloud on Riverside's server instead of on your computer, not having to take the SD card out, put it in your computer, transfer the footage to your computer, and then take that footage and bring it into an editing software, to just be able to have everything in Riverside really makes this accessible and easy for all of us. So that trade-off is usually worth it. And really, it's such a small difference in quality that most people don't notice it. I'm just really picky because I'm a video editor by trade, and this is my thing. So I always try to prioritize that highest quality if I can, especially if it's just an extra little piece of work for me. But for most of us, for our clients, for everyone that I work with, I recommend they just bypass the whole SD card situation altogether. You still want to get an SD card so you can use it in any case if you need to, or if you want to take your camera on the road and not be reliant on your computer. But for the most part, just plug directly into your computer and record that way. The file management, the editing workflow, everything will be so much easier. And that's it. Hopefully you found this video so helpful. If you did, make sure to give this video some hype points. If you need extra help or that special one-on-one support, remember you can go to pss.media and find out how to contact us there. Now that you've chosen your camera, it's time to compare and contrast the top contenders for podcast microphones. You can find this video here where I cover the top podcasting microphones used by leading podcasters and creators. You're not going to want to miss out on this one. Between this video and this one right here, you'll have everything you need to truly podcast like a pro.